Hello everyone. In today's session on the return rule in the Onfinity system, we'll walk through what a return rule is, why it's important, and how to configure it in the Onfinity system. Let's begin with the agenda. This session will help you to understand how return rules work within the Onfinity system. The main objective of this session is to enable you to understand the return rule and its associated terms within the context of business processes. It also enables you to understand the impacts of these configurations on the respective transactions and throughout the system. To get started with return rules, you need to ensure the following prerequisites are met. You must have access to the Onfinity platform with a valid user ID and password. Tenant and organization configurations should be completed and available. The business partner must be properly configured in the system so that the return rule can be linked to it. Additionally, ensure that the relevant product and product category are configured. This allows you to apply return rules based on specific products or categories, helping you control return policies more effectively. A return rule is a set of policies or guidelines established by a seller or retailer. These rules outline the conditions under which customers can return purchased products and receive refunds, replacements, or store credits. It serves as a framework for managing customer returns and helps set expectations for both the seller and the buyer. Key elements typically found in a return policy include the return rule name and timeframe. Return rules are essential for maintaining transparency and consistency in after-sales service. The timeframe defines how long after the purchase a return is allowed. This could vary depending on the product type or business policy. These rules not only protect the business from potential misuse, but also enhance customer satisfaction by clearly communicating what is expected. In Onfinity, return rules can be configured and linked to specific business partners. With the foundational concepts and requirements now covered, let's proceed to the Onfinity application to walk through the step-by-step process of creating a return rule. Open the Onfinity application. Log in using your user ID and password. Then click on Login. After logging in, you'll land on the home page. The home page displays default widgets, also called mosaics, with real-time data. Since we're working with a new tenant, you might not see much data yet. That's completely fine. Once we start entering accurate data into the system, these mosaics will begin to reflect meaningful insights. In the top right section, you will find Login User Details. If you apply the filter, it will show the data of the organization which is selected. However, if you remove the filter, you will have access to other organizations as well. For now, let's take the organization as a star, remove the filter, and click the Change button. To create a return rule in the Onfinity system or to view existing return rule records, click on the menu Utility. Search for Return Rule or navigate to Master Data Management, then Business Partner Center, and under Terms and Conditions, click on Return Rule. Click New Record to create a new record. This opens in Single Record View. Select the organization. It's recommended to create master data in the star organization. If the tenant has multiple organizations, this record can be used across all of them. Enter a name for the return rule. For example, 45 days return policy. Optionally, add a description, though it's not functionally required. Enter the time frame in days, for example, 45. Mark default as true if this should be the default return rule. Click Save Record to store the return rule. Click the back button to return to grid view. Click the hyperlink of the return rule name to view it in single record view. Next here, we have is the Line button. Click the Lines button to open the Return Policy Line tab. Once you've opened the Return Policy Line tab, you can define specific return conditions for individual products or product categories. A return policy line lets you apply specific return conditions to certain products or product categories, even if a general return rule is already in place. This is useful when some items need stricter return terms due to their nature or value. For example, if a business partner has a 45-day return policy, but you want to allow only 7 days for a product like a custom-printed notebook, you can set that up using a return policy line. This ensures that the product-specific rule takes priority over the general one. Click New Record to create a new line. It opens in Single Record View. Choose either a specific product category or a product to which the rule should apply. For now, we select Custom Printed Notebook as the product. You can enter a short description to clarify the purpose of this line. Specify the number of days within which the product can be returned. As per the example, you would enter 7 to allow returns within 7 days. Click Save Record to apply the policy line. Once saved, this line ensures that if a transaction involves the selected product, the return will only be allowed within the specified time frame, even if the general return rule allows more days to the business partner. After configuring the return rule and policy lines, the next step is to link the return rule to a business partner. This ensures that the rule is applied during transactions. To open the Vendor Master screen for a purchase transaction, click on the menu and search for Vendor Master. Alternatively, you can navigate to Master Data Management, then to Business Partner Center, and click on Vendor Master. This will open the landing page of Vendor Master. Go to the Record screen, which opens in Grid View. Select the vendor you want to link the return rule to. Click the hyperlink of the vendor name to view it in Single Record View. Click the Additional Conditions button to open the Additional Conditions tab. Assign the return rule in the Vendor Return Policy field. Click and select the return rule you created earlier. Click Save to apply the changes. The full configuration and creation of a Vendor Master will be covered in a separate session dedicated to Vendor Master setup. Just like with vendors, we can assign a return rule to a customer to ensure the correct return policy is applied during sales transactions. Navigate to Master Data Management, then Business Partner Center, and click on Customer Master. This will open the landing page of Customer Master. Go to the Record screen, which opens in Grid View. Select the customer you want to link the return rule to. Click the hyperlink of the customer's name to view it in Single Record View. Click the Additional Conditions button to open the Additional Conditions tab. Assign the return rule in the Return Rule field. Click and select the return rule you created earlier. Click Save to apply the changes. Note: the full configuration and creation of a customer master will be covered in a separate session. That concludes our session on return rule setup. Thank you for attending this session.